What are the next 5 years of Xi Jinping's presidency going to be like? Will China attack Taiwan? Will the PLA continue its aggressive military posture against India? How will the relations between China and the United States evolve? These are the big questions, the answers to which will determine not just the future of the Middle Kingdom, but also, in many ways, the future of the world. Joining me on this special broadcast to talk about the world's most powerful man is one of the world's top experts on Xi Jinping. Professor Kerry Brown has written more than 20 books on China, including 3 studying the mind and the moves of President Xi. Kerry Brown is the author of Xi, A Study in Power, The World According to Xi, Everything You Need to Know About the New China, and CEO China, The Rise of Xi Jinping. Professor Brown, at a time when the world's attention is riveted on Beijing, it's a pleasure that you could take out time to speak to us on India Today. Welcome.
Thank you very much. It's good to be here.
Since you study the mind and the moves of President Xi Jinping as closely as you do, could you at the outset lay out your vision of what you think President Xi is likely to be like over the next 5 years? What should the world expect from the world's most powerful man?
Well, I think we'll get more of what we've already got. I mean, there's quite a lot of predictability now. The speech that Xi Jinping made at the beginning of the 20th Congress on the 16th of October was a reaffirmation. There was no introduction of anything particularly new or surprising. His core vision has remained, I think, very stable, and that is, first of all, an absolute conviction in the importance, authority and power of the Communist Party of China, which he represents, and secondly, a strong nationalism, a desire for China to be a strong, rich country, dominant in its region, and able to have its own specific kind of role in the world. I think these are the things that we'll see in the next 5 years, because these are the things we've already seen in the last 10 in which he's been in power.
Deng Xiaoping introduced the idea that you could be in charge only for 2 terms. Xi Jinping now overturning that. Is there any way of knowing at all how long Xi Jinping would like to stay on in power? How long could he stay on in power?
It's very hard to say. If there are viable successors who appear at this Congress, the 5-yearly meeting of the Communist Party where leadership changes happen, then we will kind of know that there's a succession plan. I don't think that there will this time. It's hard to say whether in the next 5 years someone will suddenly emerge as more important. I think there's a sort of conviction that stability is necessary and that this leadership should continue as it is until at least the next Congress. Of course, there's lots of questions there. Is he able to do this in terms of his health? Will he actually not become a bit like Putin, more and more autocratic, more and more kind of unreliable in his judgments? These are big, big things. But at the moment, I think the commitment is to keep him there, for him to stay there for the foreseeable future.
How has he changed between the time he took charge as the leader of the Communist Party to the time when he's stamping his control over the world's most powerful party at a time when China is very different from the way it was under Mao or Deng Xiaoping? How has the leadership style of Xi Jinping evolved in your view?
Well, I think he was pretty confident from the first day. In November 2012, November the 15th, he emerged that day at the 18th Party Congress then as the key leader. He spoke for a few minutes and had a very clear idea of what he was going to do in his leadership. And that's never really stopped. His confidence has been quite striking. It's also been unsettling, of course. People find this, kind of autocratic kind of personality that he seems to have, really kind of problematic. I think the things that's changed probably is the world around him has changed. America has become more divided. Europe has become or continued to be quite divided. We now have, of course, the impact of the pandemic, the very serious war that Russia is waging on Ukraine, I mean, these have made a much more uncertain environment and an awareness of issues like climate change and their urgency. And I think that's made his authority, in Chinese eyes at least, or the Communist Party's eyes, even more authority. These are problems that have, in a sense, meant that he has become even stronger because they have meant a strong response.